Good morning, SEC. Oh, come on in. Come on in. Have a seat. Stay a while. We're going to talk a little SEC football. A little Bill Belichick. Actually, I got to mention him, right? Because we haven't got to talk about the Monday game yet. We got Brian Kelly out here. Jeez Louise out here. Got with receipts in his hands. He says, I'm tired of you making fun of these LSU Tigers. He goes on a little bit of a warpath. We're going to track that. And then why everybody's here, they want to see where their quarterback is after week one. I felt like after the week one games, we kept saying, man, I was wrong about this guy, or man, people were sleeping on this guy. We're going to talk quarterbacks. We're going to re-rank them from last to first. I'm sure this list will not be controversial. That and much, much more on this episode of SEC Hangover. Come on in, hotty toddy. Tim, I don't hate Ole Miss. I don't hate Ole Miss. Let's go, cuz. Let's get them in here. Morning, cuz. Boomer. Good morning, cousins. Absolutely. It's not a good morning if cousin JR ain't in the comment section. Come on. Waking up early. I don't know what time it is where he's at, but I appreciate you, the absolute legend, cousin JR. Sorry if I get my damn words right. Cousin hooked up. Hook 'em up with a membership. Welcome to the family. Cousin hook 'em up. Courtesy of cousin JR. Come on in. Water's fine. All right, let's see here. We got, before we get going, just remind the cousins we are brought to you by MyBookie. Right now, if you use promo code SEC, your first bet is safe. What does that mean? That means if you make a bet on MyBookie right now, you jump on there, log on, use promo code SEC, place a bet up to $500. If you are wrong, guess what MyBookie's going to do? They're going to give you your money back. Oh, I know there's a lot of cousins that like to get their money back after they see this list, but if you also are in town, make sure you stop by and see our boys and girls at Tennessee Legend Distillery. You can find them in Sevierville locations, Nashville locations. They reached out to us yesterday. We got some pretty exciting stuff coming up. They're going to have some giveaways. You guys will be a part of that. But if you do swing by there and tell them the cousin sent you, you not only are going to get a discount, but you're also going to get a gift. Come on now. And a lot of cousins, shout out to the cousins, going to their local package stores and saying, hey, we need some of the stuff on the shelf. If you get that done and it's on your shelf, take a picture and send it to me at thatsecpodcast@gmail.com, and maybe we'll have something special for you. All right, let's jump in to some of this action. You know, it's always funny. There's no story here. There's nothing to talk about. And Oklahoma fans, Texas fans, you're already tired of this guy, and you can't believe it. But I gotta throw this out here. Gundy's back on the media. Just checking in on Mike Gundy's press conference. What the hell's going on over there? Everything's gone to hell since Oklahoma and Texas has left. But let's jump in. Also, I want to talk a little bit about Bill Belichick. A little elderly abuse over there in North Carolina. Got their asses handed to them from TCU. And everybody want to talk about Bill's girlfriend. Where is she? She's on the sideline. Where else would she be? That was literally the most action in this football game. But the comments, the memes were perfect. This one's one of my favorites. Mike posted coincidentally. So if you're just listening, it's the score of TCU 41, North Carolina 7, which coincidentally is Bill Belichick's age was 41 when Hudson was 7. Oh, Brett McMurphy. Ironically, North Carolina backup quarterback Max Johnson is 24 years old, the same age as Jordan Hudson, Bill Belichick's girlfriend. And last but not least, Team TCU after the game quote tweeted Carolina football because they're excited about their new show that's going to be airing on Hulu. TCU says, when does that first episode come out? You got to be careful picking on old people. LSU fan learned the hard way when he was fighting one of them in the stands. My man. Oh, this is why you got to be careful, kids. Football's emotional, right? This guy on the right probably invested a shit ton of money. He's so pumped up about Clemson being here. LSU kid thought it'd be funny to flip him off, make him famous for TikTok. By God, they made him famous right here. So be careful who you run into out there, kiddos. Now, we're going to go down to Arizona State for a second. I don't know if you're familiar with Coach Dillingham, but you should be because he's on just about every short list. Bama would like to have him right now. I'm sure Mississippi State would probably like to have him right now. But I don't know if Dillingham's quite SEC ready after these comments. He talks about the hotel location. As everybody knows, they're going down to Davis Wade Stadium, and he's talking about there's not a hotel within an hour and a half. I'm going to prove that wrong. He said there's no good food around there. So just listen to these dumb comments.
So interesting is now that we play in a lot smaller towns, we play further away from stadiums, our road games. So we stay about an hour and 20, hour and 15 minutes away from the stadium this week because that's the nearest hotel that's not a casino to stay at. No, it's the truth. That's some teams stay at the casino. That wasn't even a joke. But it's just the nearest hotel. And then you talk, some guys are finicky eaters. So it's like some guys at these hotels, they don't like the food. It's not good. So now we get like sandwiches on the side. You know, Texas Tech we played last year, and our guys got sick the day of the game. We had about 10 guys that stomachs, they're getting IVs because their stomachs were sick from the food. I've never even said that. But it's just you're learning and growing along the way. So now it's like, okay, we need the food we get. And then if a player who's a finicky eater, we also need like a sub sandwich or a hamburger or something that they're comfortable with because you're gone, you know, the pregame meal and then the night meal if they don't go that amount of time with a good meal. So that's something that I learned, you know, when you're going to like Seattle, right? The food, you know, their food's unbelievable, but some of the smaller towns, it's harder to, you know, feed 160 guys. So we're just trying to adapt.
Come on, you soft bastard. You ain't going to make it over here. I've never wanted Mississippi State to win a football game so much in my life than hearing these comments. Can't finicky eaters. Finicky eaters? Come on, man. Get out of here. And I showed you there's plenty of hotels near there, so don't let them poor mouth you. Talking about mouth. Oh, my gosh. My boy, Brian Kelly. He came out, made some comments. I mean, let's not lie. Let's not act like we weren't shitting on LSU. Not me. I mean, cousin Mike, on the other hand, coming out here talking all bad about them LSU Tigers. Not me. Coach Kelly, I said you were a playoff team. But my boy's a little fired up. Here, listen to these comments in the presser, and then I'm gonna give you a little track of the receipts he was taking.
So I know you guys hear this each and every week from me, but you know, we got a commitment from our guys that they want to do the hard things the right way. And that is, you know, building great habits, you know, following a process that's in place that is successful. And that's not easy because you just take a look at, you know, the narrative leading into our first game. Our fan base was going to be eroding. The head coach is on the hot seat. They can't run the ball. They won't be able to stop the run. I mean, I could go on and on. We got, you know, people taking shots at our process. It went on. And then 24 hours later, the same people said that we got one of the best teams in the country. So you can see how silly this is.
I think you got the best team in the country, Coach, and I've been trying to tell you this whole time, right? But I'm going to go. The first stop Coach Kelly made had to be Paul Feinbaum, and you got to remember Paul's made some bad bets, right? I mean, ask them Alabama fans. But one of the things that he loves having him on just to rib him a little bit about these LSU Tigers, but Kelly kind of fired back today on Feinbaum.
Coach, congratulations. I know there's always a next game, but this one had to be pretty sweet.
Oh yeah, I mean, but you know me, Paul. I've been on this show whether I've won games or lost games, and you had a tough loss this weekend, and you came on the show, so I appreciate that. So I think you and I both understand in this business, you get good days, you got bad days.
Absolutely love it. You got to back it up, and they will. I mean, it feels like this is kind of a cupcake week. There's a few games. I mean, obviously, I'm at the biggest one of the week right now, but LSU, take your victory laps, right? Take your victory laps. You deserve it. This defense was elite. The offense was great. I think you're going to like where your quarterback's at in these new quarterback rankings, but not everybody thought that was a perfect game. In fact, Dabo comes out here and pretty much says LSU sucked. We just sucked a little more.
I mean, if we make the first tackle, I mean, Wade's got the guy. He's got. I mean, I don't even know how his knee didn't go down, but without that run, I mean, like I said, the last 58 minutes is 2.8, and that is a physical group. It's a very smart quarterback, and that is a back. So they're going to be a problem, and they got some explosive dudes, and it was a hell of a game. It was a hell of a game down to the last play, right out of the gate. It's like getting the final exam day one of class. They made a 65, we made a 58. Neither one of us were great.
Neither one of us are great. They made a 65, we made a 58. Coach Kelly, what do you think about that?
We dominated him in the second half. So he's either a really good grader for giving himself a 58, or he's a really hard grader on us, or he didn't see the second half, which that might be the case. He might not have wanted to see the second half.
That's all I got on Coach Kelly, but I absolutely love this. This is there's a handful of coaches in this league that speak like from their heart, I mean, you could go out here and you can hear coach speak just about everywhere, including the SEC, and it used to be real bad back in the day. In fact, we couldn't get any comments from these guys. But Coach Kelly, Coach Beamer, Coach Kiffin, these guys are telling you, drink. These guys are opening up and telling you exactly how they feel. Now, we criticize them a little bit, but it's also nice when you see the ribbing, because why? It makes these games more fun, right? If LSU does this to Alabama and then Coach Kelly comes out here and says shit, well, guess what? Next time Alabama and LSU, it's got a little extra seasoning on it, right? So I Coach Kelly, if you're listening, which I doubt it, it's early, you may be doing something else busy, keep it up, my friend. Keep it up. You are moving up the list of my favorite coaches to talk about. Now, at the bottom of the list, I think we all know who this is, right? Kalen DeBoer. What the hell?
For this week, you're saying, or are you referring to last
going
week?
up to Florida State before that game.
I said that?
You said that, yeah, before.
Oh, just,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
Today, Junior?
Okay, love the background, Cousin Shane. Beautiful side. I predict ought to have $2 on the ground against Michigan's ass Saturday. Boomer. I think you're right. I mean, obviously they held him back for a reason, and that reason is week 2, and that's what I think is going to happen. I felt like I gave Mateer a little too much love on this upcoming list because of what I saw Saturday, but I think for Oklahoma to have that success, they got to have that balance, right? And that balance is Oklahoma. You think of running, you think of defense, and I feel like they get back to that week 2. So I appreciate the donation, cuz I also appreciate Dynamite getting up bright and early, gifting who we got here. Volcano. Oh, geez Louise, what a name that is. Volcano, the Sweat Volcano. I guess that's it. Well, welcome to the family, Volcano. Jeez. Never seen a volcano. I need to go over there and See the flying Hawaiian, planning on doing that next year. Maybe we'll do some content on the beach. I'm just kidding. You won't see ratings plummet. But I appreciate Cousin gifting the membership. Back to Bama, though. Let's talk Bama for just a few more minutes. And I know they've been all in the headlines, but you're hearing culture, right? I'm hearing Coach. This is the first time he's like loss of words, kind of like me on this show right now. But this is a culture that I don't think you can fix in 1 week, 2 weeks, entire season. I'm worried about these Bama fans. I'm worried about this rolling tide moving forward because, it's like a kid. You can't start being strict on them when they're 17 years old. Trust me, I've got one that's mean as hell. We're too late. We're too far in, right? She is who she is, and I love her to death. But unfortunately, I don't think Bama. I mean, look here. Here's a video. Pre-game, Alabama. I mean, we're working out. We're getting ready for a football game, not just a cupcake game, a Florida State team on the road, and everybody's running around with phones in their hands.
Good days, bad days, hot days, whatever the circumstances that show up, we're going to.
Now, that's not. I'm not saying that that's wrong. I mean, all kids listen to music, and clearly probably these shorts, these Nike shorts, don't have pockets. Fix it, man. You're Alabama. Have shorts with so these kids can get out there and pregame, but they're holding their damn phones. Could you imagine Nick Saban on the sideline seeing this? No, you can't imagine because it would never happen. Even coaches don't even know what his quarterback's saying.
Hey, Kalen, you talked a little bit about Ty's performance post-game, but I'm curious. He said he called every drive after the first one. He said the offense played complacent. And I'm curious to see a guy after his first start make those kind of comments. What does that say about who Ty is and how he kind of runs this offense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't hear those comments. I guess I guess the only thing I can look into is that human nature is that when it goes well on your first drive and you end up in the end zone, that there's something internal, right? It's just human nature. But
be ready, guys. It's a long season for Alabama. I talked to Mike about this last night, and I said, looking at the remainder of the schedule, where would you put Florida State as far as strength? Like, would you have them at the 5th spot, the 3rd spot? Mike thinks there's 5 to 6 more teams that are better than Florida State right now on the schedule. And if Alabama ends with a 6-6, a 7-5, I think we may have the quickest turnaround Alabama firing I've seen in my lifetime. But, all right, enough Bama. Let's give them a chance, right? I think everybody's like, hey, let's let them. Let's let it marinate a little bit. Let's let Coach is going to excel year 3. Look at this recruiting class, right? Maybe they should keep the board. All right, let's get into it. Why are we here? Why? Because I rank some quarterbacks. Now, to be fair, my dog's snoring over here. Hey, chill out. Chill out. When you look at quarterbacks, nobody comes to me and says, Shane, what's your favorite scheme on offense? Nobody comes to me and says, who has the best throwing mechanics? No, I'm the fan. I'm just like you. I sit on the couch. I drink cold beer. I watched all the football games, and I judge which quarterback's the worst to which quarterback's the best. And I feel like a reevaluation. Again, this is week 2. We're going into week 2. I want to be crystal clear here. There's going to be some of these names that by week 12, I don't want to come back to this one and say, well, Shane had them 8th or Shane had them 12th. Well, week 2 I did. This is a list that could change throughout the season, but nobody comes to me. You know what they come to me for? Like, what best soda pairs well with a pepperoni pizza? What tactics do you use in a tug of war competition? That's what people come to me for. But, it's my show, and I want to talk quarterbacks. So let's start with the worst quarterback in the SEC, none other than Zach Calzada. A&M fans know him well. Auburn fans know him well. Zach Calzada really struggled this week. Now, again, tougher opponent, But look at these stats, man. 43% completion, 85 pass yards. This was such a tough watch. No doubt in my mind. Tier of his own. Number 16, Zach Calzada. Right above him, number 15, we're going Blake Shapen, Mississippi State. Now, listen. Did he have some nice yardage? Did he have some nice stats? Yes. 270 yards. I felt like when you're looking at Mississippi State here, that first drive, if you back out the first drive, even the first drive, if you watch the touchdown, the guy was wide open and he had to slow down. They got some work to do, right? I do love Blake Shape. I think he's perfect for what Mississippi State's trying to do. Unfortunately, if we're in a game and I need a quarterback, he's going to be the 15th one I choose. Oh, my God. Speaking of 15, golly. I'd drop him off. I'd take him completely off the list after that performance, but it wasn't all tie, right? I mean, a lot of this had to do with the offensive line not giving him time. I feel like this is a guy that can move up the list, but right now I'm not messing with anything Alabama is throwing out. The wide receivers seemed off sync. It seemed, this is, I don't know. I really don't. Florida State is not a daunting defense, but for some reason Ty Simpson thought it was. This is my number 14 guy right here. Number 13, Marcel Reed. Do I like Marcel Reed? Absolutely. I think he is one of the most electric quarterbacks in this conference. What I don't like about Marcel Reed is the fact that he wasn't patient. He still has that I want to run mentality, and we can't have that. We can't have that at College Station. We need some balance. Maybe if we can get this running game going, it can open up opportunities for Marcel Reed. Don't get me wrong, stat line looked great, right? 289 yards, 4 touchdowns, absolutely awesome. But at times, as soon as there was a little bit of pressure in his face, he was panicking. And I don't want to see that. He's still a young guy, still has an opportunity to move up this list. Just like Jackson. Look here, Jackson Arnold, number 12. Now, listen, Linda. I loved that game against Baylor. I loved what Jackson brought to the table. Jackson helped win that football game, right? But he didn't do it with his arm. He did it with his leg. The leading rusher right now in the Southeastern Conference is none other than Jackson Arnold with 137 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. I love that. I love that. But is it sustainable? Are you going to be able to do that for 11 more weeks? I don't think so. We really got to get this passing game going, and this is a quarterback ranking. If this was a running back ranking, yeah, I'd have Jackson Arnold up there, but it's not. Diego Pavia. We forget about this guy sometimes, right? Diego Pavia. I would say 99% of you did not watch any Diego Pavia highlights or football games this weekend. He's still here, man. He looked good. He has not only some great passes, just great reads. I know we're at the 11 spot. I'm telling you, this feels like a super talented league. And I'd love to have Diego a little bit higher. It's just now we're starting to get into some of that cupcake games, like, was this more Diego? Was this more Charleston? I felt like statistically he was phenomenal. 80% completion, 275 yards throwing, 3 touchdowns. Diego did what Diego was supposed to do in this game, but I need to see it. I need to see it against a defense that has some sort of life. Same thing with Gunner here. Gunner at the 10 spot. Now, Gunner, to be fair, if I would have done this after the first quarter of the game, I would have put Gunner at the top. Similar to Jackson, this man has some damn wheels to him. 73 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. It was the passing, though. Again, even Kirby was asked in the press conference, not about Gunner, but he was talked about quarterbacks. He says somebody was asking him about the mobile quarterbacks in the Southeastern Conference, which you see a lot of them now. And, he says there's a fine line. He goes, because you got runners and you got passers. And he says, even if you got an elite runner, They have to spend time developing that. And that takes away from the passing. So it's kind of like this balance. There's only a handful of players, I feel like, that can truly balance both. Gunner's not there yet, but he can be. Absolutely. In fact, I thought he made a great point. Kirby said, back in the day, the reason we didn't have so many mobiles because if they saw somebody like this, they just put them at running back. Now, this one was the biggest drop on the list. None other than Arch Manning. Now, calm down. Can Arch Manning still be the number one pick? Sure. Right? Can he be at a Heisman one day? Sure. May he win a national championship this year? Possibly. But we're talking week 2, guys. And what I saw week 1 was a quarterback that was a little scared. Surprised me. A little timid. Now, that may be more of the coach's fault. That may be more of the fact that they're on Columbus, Ohio, fighting for the life, toughest opponent that the Southeastern Conference had to face this week. Possibly, right? At times looked really good. I thought there was some windows he threw in that were like, this is what we signed up for. But we can't all be number one. Arch can move up this list, but right now, I got him at number 9. Now this one I had further down the list. Not going to lie. Austin Simmons, Ole Miss. I had him, I think, originally when I started doing this about 13, 14. And this is a guy that just kept creeping up. Why? Because I kept watching games. Ole Miss, I rewatched this thing. I feel like if you can back out some of the mistakes he made in that first quarter, Austin Simmons could be a top 5 quarterback in this league. Now, what I love about Austin Simmons is the potential. The ceiling is a lot higher on this kid than I thought. This is a guy at the end of the year could be the best quarterback in this league. And I'm not just saying that to say, I'm being honest with you. There was some absolute dimes thrown in this football game. He's young. He made some early mistakes. That's why, again, I keep reminding you, this is week 2. But Austin Simmons is going to be a dangerous dude, and Lane Kiffin just reloads at quarterback. Speaking of reloading, big game this week. My boy Bo, come at Bomo, number 7. This guy was as advertised. You like running? Got it. Check. Marks the box. You like passing? Got it. Checks the box. We had a downfield presence. It was wonderful. It was nice to see Missouri back. 82% completion. This guy was dynamite. And honestly, I felt like they called the dogs off. Now, let's not act like they didn't play Central Arkansas. They did. They played a shit team. They're going to be truly tested this week. But right now, as of week 2, I feel like number 7, Bo, could move up the list, could move down the list. This is a make or break for him, but he has it. He has those pieces. I like the balance. And this is kind of a grouping, right? The second one in this grouping is John Mateer, another guy statistically had a great freaking game. 81%, 392 yards passing, right? There was a couple mistakes in this game, but remember, it's week 1. You're going to have that, right? But sitting at that number 6 spot, I saw what Oklahoma really needed last year, and that's they needed a captain. They needed a damn leader, and I felt like they had one out there. You could just see a little extra pep in the step from the offensive side. You could see it in the fans. Now, watching this game, it kind of blew my mind that we had to have almost 400 yards of passing, but I think it was all geared up for this week, right? It had to be. I feel like Oklahoma is such better spot than they were last year. John Mateer at the number 6 spot. Now, this guy barely made any list at the start of the season. That's old Swagular, Joey Aguilar. I got him at the 5th spot. Had a fantastic game. 247 yards, 3 touchdowns. And you're saying, Shabe, look at those completions. My guy had 80. My guy had 65. Whatever. Joey got the ball there. This is more about the receivers and the drops. Joey Aguilar came out of nowhere. You want to talk about the best damn trade in the world? I will say it on the mountaintop. The fact that we were able to get this, lose Nico, and save money, come on. Maybe that's why I like him so much, because this is like one of those bargain bin finds you have, you just you come home with it and you find it. You ever see those people that go to those auctions and they're like, hey, look at this clock, I found for $5 at a damn yard sale. And they're like, oh, it's $1 million. That's what Joey is, right? Joey's going to be a firefighter? Nah, he ain't going to do that. He's going to come over to Knoxville and hopefully get them back to the college football playoffs. What a downfield presence. I loved his pocket awareness. There was so much to love about Joey Aguilar. Number 5. And again, we're at this spot where splitting hairs. I will take any of these top 7 quarterbacks if I needed them in a drive situation. But the one that's near and dear to my heart and will be while he's in Arkansas is Taylon Green. Now, no one watched Arkansas this week, right? Because they played nobody. But Taylon Green was absolutely electric. 77% on completions, 322 on passing, 41 on rushing. Could have done more. Right? Forget the 6 touchdowns. This is a guy that could have had 15 touchdowns in this game. He was just cool, calm, collective, slide in the pocket. He was just phenomenal. And yes, they didn't play anybody, but I will tell you this. We're at the 4 spot, and there's 10 teams below us right now that would switch for Taylon Green in a heartbeat. Number 3, dropped a little bit. Not going to lie. My boy, Lenoris Sellers. Again, we're splitting hairs here. There was some moments in this game. Like that first drive, I was all in. But there's something to be said about a scripted drive and then actual football. When it hit actual football, I felt like we missed a little bit. And Sellers, don't get me wrong, Sellers is still probably a Heisman. I mean, he's going to be a Heisman candidate. He's going to probably be 1 or 2 first quarterbacks selected in the draft. No doubt in my mind. We're talking week 2 here. Going to have to work on a few things. And once they get that dialed in, South Carolina will be unstoppable. 2, DJ Lagway. And as long as DJ's on the field, I'm probably going to keep him at this spot, right? Looked healthy, looked good. Some absolute dimes in this football game. 83% completion. Not only was he efficient, but he efficiently ended this. Now it's the Sharks, right? Jeez, Shane, it's the Sharks. Calm down. I love this guy. I absolutely love him, and I've never not loved him. That's why people are like, well, Shane, you hate the Florida Gators. I don't hate the Florida Gators. I think the Florida Gators will suck if this guy is not in uniform. And I'm just afraid he won't make it. But he keeps playing like he did week 1. He may make it the entire season. As long as DJ's out there, Florida can beat anybody. And number 1, Coach Kelly, get your pen out, write it down, Garrett Nussmeier. Now, did he have the best stats this weekend? Absolutely not. 74% completion, 230 yards. But what he did is he went to Death Valley, he took his ball club, and he kicked ass. That's exactly what Garrett should have had another touchdown in this thing. This guy, a lot of people talked about it, didn't steal the headlines, but Garrett Nussmeier, I mean, he was the most poised quarterback that I saw in the country week 1. That's my number 1 list. So I got 104 comments. I apologize if I can't get to you here, but I suck at doing 2 things at one time. But hey, we are Wednesday. I appreciate the cousins participating in this non-controversial list. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Got to get out of here. Go Vols. We will see you tonight. We got mailbag.
Hey, buddy, this beer's for you, Mike, and Cousin Shane. That SEC podcast loves the Pirate, and the Pirate loves that SEC podcast. Hail State.